Hello, everyone. Okay, we are at quorum, so that's wonderful. At 5:32 p.m. on the 23rd of November, we are holding our Human Rights Commission meeting. I am going to call the meeting to order and do roll call. If an individual is not here, you will hear silence. Other than that, say here, please. So Adil Adams, Jessica Andino here, Siri,
here,
Jason,
here,
Ashley, Mark,
here,
Roger, Bijou, and Tony.
Here.
All righty. Item number 2 on our agenda is the Native American Land Acknowledgement, and I am taking up Mark's advice of last time. You got to read it last time, Mark, so I am passing it along to somebody else, and I think that would be a really good thing going forward where we get to share that commitment of reading the Land Acknowledgement. So I've invited Tony this time to read it. Tony, whenever you're ready.
We meet today in the community of Iowa City, which now occupies the homelands of the Native American nations to whom we owe our commitment and dedication. The area of Iowa City was within the homelands of the Iowa, Meskwaki, and Sauk, and because history is complex and time goes far back beyond memory, we also acknowledge the ancient connections of many other indigenous peoples here. The history of broken treaties and forced removal that dispossessed indigenous peoples of their homelands was and is an act of colonization and genocide that we cannot erase. We implore the Iowa City community to commit to understanding and addressing these injustices as we work towards equity, restoration, and reparations.
Thank you, Tony. I don't know about any of you, but I have definitely been seeing a lot of movement this last week with the Native American Heritage Month and activities. So there's a lot going on out there. If you are not aware, trust me, you can find it. Item number 3 on the agenda is approval of the minutes from our last meeting. These start after the attendance record within our packet. It also includes, looks like we have, oh, hang on, that's July stuff. Sorry, guys, when I lied. It's before the attendance. Anybody?
Yep. Yeah, there's minutes in there from last year?
That's for the planning
Oh, gotcha.
and
Okay.
strategic planning meeting, I believe, which is a later item on the agenda.
Okay.
I looked over this earlier this week,
Now that
but
makes sense. I was a
pregnancy
little-
brain is a thing. I'm just gonna throw it in there as much as I can as an excuse, guys. So,
this looks good to me.
would you like to motion for approval, Siri?
I would make a motion for approval of these minutes.
Second.
So first by Siri, second by Mark. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Motion passes to approve these wonderful minutes by Stephanie Bowers, 5-0.
Thank you.
Item number 4 on the agenda is public comment for items that are not on the agenda, where I do not see anybody, but I will read the rules as sees fit. As commentators shall address the commission for no longer than 5 minutes, as it always is, and commissioners shall not engage with the public concerning said items that are mentioned by commenters. But I am not seeing anybody here today from the public. So we will move on to item number 5, which is the ARP and the Excluded Workers Fund discussion and updates. I don't believe we have anything in our packet that includes this. I know that specifically Johnson County was looking at allocating some funding towards the Excluded Workers Fund in their last meeting. I am unaware if it's official yet or not.
I believe in their last meeting, they approved $2 million.
2 million?
Yep.
Okay.
I think that is, as far as my understanding is that's official. I don't know if they have to have multiple readings or not, but they at least voted on it once.
Okay.
And I haven't heard anything about Iowa City as a formal commitment. Have you heard anything, Stephanie? So I know it was, I think a similar amount was proposed as part of their overall plans, that kind of thing, but I don't, as far as I know, and I didn't watch this past week's meeting, but
Yeah.
they haven't officially voted on that or approved any of those plans, so.
Okay. And I know there would be a delay in, actually getting the funds to the individuals as well. They're trying to decide when to distribute. Takes time and effort, but also there is a sense of urgency for excluded workers. So, any further discussion for item number 5 on the agenda? Item number 6 is review of the current commission subcommittees and the 2020 strategic plan. I was hoping to have more commission members here for this because I believe it was tabled by a few commissioners that are not present, but we will move forward with the discussion and hopefully get some feedback. And we don't have to make any hard decisions today. But that is the reason for the drafted formal minutes from July of 2020.
So it was my understanding that we wanted to sort of get some wisdom on what worked and didn't work, but we didn't want to necessarily select the commission's focus for the future until we included the new commissioners for next year. Is that correct?
Okay.
That was my understanding, is that we had talked about, kind of re-looking at the strategic plan, but then decided that it would make more sense to do that after the first of the year when we have the 2 new commissioners on. And
But I do think there were some notes about like priorities in the future, especially I think Ashley mentioned the need for pretty clear leadership, defined leadership of each subcommittee.
Well, and Mark and I were speaking earlier today too, and I think what my suggestion would be, and this is obviously, we'll make this part of the discussion and the strategic planning too, is that that for the subcommittees in particular, is that I think what we did was focus more on subject matter, like housing what I would propose is we do more structurally, more like, a programs committee that would be for suggesting things that we would, like an event that we would put on or something like that, and then a policy committee that would be in charge of like looking at city policies or recommending those. So it's more kind of like those kind of category based as opposed to particular subject matter that we may or may not have expertise in, or may not priorities change.
And that may be easier for incoming members to envision themselves joining a category-based system.
Right. So you don't necessarily,
so that
we
we
had
don't-
housing, you don't necessarily have to have expertise in
Sure.
housing or try to coordinate with multiple other entities and that kind of thing. We can just say it's programs, and that could be in anything that falls under our purview. And then
Yeah.
we're suggesting just, something that might be timely or that, that comes up that would be beneficial
Well,
to
and
work
there's so
on.
many other people that are expert on housing, so we would simply be gathering information that other people give us that are already working for the city,
Right.
including our director.
I like that idea. Welcome, Bijou. You're good.
We're done.
Good start. You're fine.
And it seems like a lot of what Ashley was doing under anti-racism would fall in that program. It could be programs and education.
Right.
That sort of
That's kind of what I was
outlet,
thinking too. So that would allow it to
would
be, so it
cover.
wouldn't have to, and I think it actually would free us up to do, be more inclusive or brainstorm about what we might want to do, because we're not limited to, well, does that fall into this particular niche that we
Yeah, that theme almost, right? Yeah.
Right.
I think that's wise.
We don't have to decide anything tonight. We don't even have to entertain any motions. Again, we are low in numbers, and there will be two new commission members starting in January as well. So,
So just throwing that out there so that we're kind of having awareness of it, and then getting a head start maybe on those conversations, and we can bring the other 2 up to speed when they're here.
you want to make a subcommittee about the subcommittees prior to the committee meeting? No, I'm just kidding.
Please no.
Okay, I was going to appoint you.
The defined leader.
There will have to be a defined leader. I do like that.
Yeah, that was a good suggestion that was Ashley's idea.
Yeah, I
believe
think
so.
so.
Then that gives some more leadership opportunities too, and for somebody to
Yeah.
step up to.
Is there any other further discussion that we have that obviously this will continue and probably be on the December and January, the January agenda as well for new commissioners?
What was the other one that you suggested, Mark? We talked about programming, policy, and then you had another P word that you threw in there. Like,
I don't know, planning?
maybe that was it.
It was
I
a
can't
P
remember.
word. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Never mind.
Alliterate.
Yes.
I do want to observe, though, that in the strategic plan, one of the things was I wanted to get Juneteenth a priority in the calendar, and I think we did that this last year, that it wasn't
so it's official
muddied
city
up.
holiday.
We're doing Juneteenth the way it should be. Okay.
Well, and also Mark and I talked about offline. It's just, I think there's lots of, I've heard bits and pieces from different people about ideas for an event or a program or something that we could do. And well, Ashley and some of you others have done some of that, which is education or a webinar or having an author speak or those kind of things. So that's I think something like that would allow just for more of those kind of ideas, as much as we can commit to, collectively to put our work into.
And I think it'd provide really good collaboration. As Mark said, there are other individuals in certain niche categories. I think there's other organizations that you could partner with as well
Right.
to be able to follow
Right.
through with those.
Right, and we might still do something on housing, for instance, but then
Specifically,
but then
yeah.
we want to do an event or we want to do some education, so then we pull those resources and then we just are the coordination point for putting that on. It seemed to make more sense than just trying to solve problems that we're not as equipped to or would have to be just relying on other people for.
And I did want to mention, because you don't have a meeting in December, Rakesia Harrington with Parks and Recreation, she is planning an event for Dr. Martin Luther King Day.
Okay.
And she said she wanted the assistance of the commission, so we'll probably have to be through emails, but she's doing a program with youth.
What's that?
With youth.
With youth? Okay.
There's a joke. And I don't remember if she said it would be a summit or a panel. So I will try to get in touch with her before this meeting ends to follow up. But just so you know, if you don't have plans for MLK Day, I know that's something that she thought the commission would be helpful in working on with her.
Love that. I'll be around, so I'm
Okay.
happy to give her my name individually. I can help.
I'll be around as well, and I know that City High School does a lot of programming around having a full day devoted to that, like one of the school days besides the day that's off. So there might be some joint resource sharing that
Yeah.
I can help facilitate.
And is it January 17 it will be observed?
Yeah, whatever that Monday is that 17th?
Correct.
Right.
That would be it.
Yes, late, but yes.
Footnote, that's Michelle Obama's birthday. Just
That's important.
bump.
Double star.
I'll be playing softball.
You're going to play softball? So you just said? I love it. Any further discussion on item number 6? That's review of current commission subcommittees and the 2020 strategic plan. Did you find the need to recreate the strategic plan? Do you want to hold off on that? Do we want to try to commit to maybe redoing the strategic plan? It's really, don't know,
Well, I would think it's worth
looking.
looking at pretty hard, and once we have
Correct.
the new folks on board and everything too.
Stephanie, correct me if I'm wrong, prior to even myself coming onto the commission, there used to be a facilitator for strategic planning that the city had for commissions? The person that did the sticky note activity or something that was referred to?
There was a person who the commission had worked with named Jeff Schott.
Okay,
And at the time when the commission was planning on doing this in July of 2020, he thought it is more effective in person.
yeah,
And so it was kind of one of those things. But yeah, it's Jeff Schott.
okay.
Still available?
I can check.
I know a few people in my consulting circles that
Should have
do that
reached out
kind of
to you,
work
yeah.
too. So,
Okay.
so if
I can
he
organize it.
has history with us, then that's great. So that's nice to have some continuity. But if he's not, then I've certainly can suggest a few names, and I imagine I can twist their arm and have some freebies, or
Discounts?
or I'll buy him, buy her some wine. I know one of them that can be bribed.
$3.99. That's my favorite.
$3.99. Helping out, okay. Well, good. Not hearing any further discussion, I'm going to move along to item number 7, which is the report on the awards ceremony.
You guys did a great job. I heard very favorable reviews.
Yay!
Yes.
There were no donuts, though.
They had pastries.
Pastries were good. I have to say that.
Yeah, okay.
And the venue was really nice. That was a nice change.
good.
Beautiful.
It was, and I actually put a hold on it for next year.
Oh, perfect.
So,
Yeah, I think that's a great
Yeah.
space.
Yeah, it
So,
really is. It's amazing. Especially, it's amazing.
Yeah, when you see the whole city from up there, and
Yeah, I thought it was well done. Good job, Stephanie.
Good job, Commission. Thank you.
hopefully by that time we'll be able to invite more than just the awardees, you know?
Keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah, I know.
True.
In retrospect, because I was part of the acknowledging who was to receive awards, I I think I will, in the future, volunteer for that, but I will offer it more, a closer scrutiny. We could have done a better job, I think, and I was very pleased with the awards that we distributed, and it was just a privilege to be part of that. It's a big deal. Some people are doing extraordinary things.
I know I'm kind of hopping around between now 6 and 7 on the agenda, but that could also be a separate subcommittee as well. Not only the Human Rights Awards, but the Youth Awards as well. That
Right,
could be
we have a committee just on our standing events, you know, that kind of help, that they're kind of in charge, or they're directed towards.
We end up
how
being
those-
task force for a particular thing.
That's not a bad idea.
to get more applications as well, and then they're also the review
And the
committee.
youth awards are scheduled for May 11th at the Englert Theater, if people want to get that on their calendar.
The
Yes.
11th, okay,
May 11th, it's a
Do you
Wednesday.
happen to know what time?
evening.
It starts at 7, and I like commissioners to be there maybe 5:30, 5:45, just for kind of a run-through.
Okay. May 11th at
Wait a
7.
minute. In the evening?
Correct.
Correct.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good
Yep.
question.
That'd
Thank
be
you.
pretty early, Mark.
5:45?
Yeah.
That would be, I'm
Fortunately,
not that cruel.
Sad to say, I'm
You
usually
tell
up at
me,
that time,
I'll
but that's
be-
not.
Okay, yeah, it's great at the Englert, and
That was me this year at the.
You're playing softball at that time, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I got.
and I don't know if anybody saw, but there is video from the breakfast if you wanted to go back and watch it again. So that's great. And then the photographer took some amazing pictures, but
I agree.
They're so large that I can't send them out.
Oh, okay.
But if anybody
Are
like
they saved
wants
somewhere,
them,
or like are they somewhere we can access them? Or?
yeah, he has he sent me like a link that I can like select on them,
Okay.
but it's so large. But if somebody wants one, I can save them on a stick drive. But we need to do that quick because the city is implementing a policy where we can only do these special stick drives. So I have a whole drawer
Okay.
full of it's a security issue, but
Yeah, understandable.
but so I have stick drives that I will not be able to use starting December
Well,
5th.
put some of the good ones on a stick drive, and I'll create like a Google Drive, and we can share them.
Reduce
Oh.
this.
Group or
Reduce
So
the
I just
image
put them on
size.
one stick drive, you're
Yeah.
saying? Okay.
Yep.
Jason has volunteered.
Yep, I
Thank
can do
you.
that.
There you
Because
go.
they're really
Yeah.
they're great. They're just he did a really good job.
Nice.
So that person will be at all of our events. Okay. Yeah.
That part.
Awesome.
Yes.
Any other items from the Human Rights Awards ceremony? I think everybody was well deserving and did a great job with their acceptance speeches. Nobody had to be flagged to cut down on time. I always get worried about Sarah Barron, but no, she did wonderful.
No, I thought it was a nice variety, and they all had, there was some,
was great.
Like the guy that did the
Yeah. It's
Twitter
really
vaccine
interesting.
account. I mean, he was really funny. He's really dry sense of humor, and he was self-deprecating. I loved him, and so just all of them had their own kind of unique messages. It was
I
great.
agree. The awards looked great, Stephanie.
Oh, great. Thank you. But if anybody wants the link, let me know. We sent it out in a news release, but if you don't subscribe, you might not have gotten it, so I can make the link available.
Donuts for next year. All right. Item number 8, report on Corville Pride.
Yeah, so I
Very
was there. I thought that it was maybe sparsely attended due to the new location, and from my understanding, the location had changed several times. I don't know how many people knew where Tavern Blue was, but I mean, there were a number of people there. It was it's kind of an odd venue. It's a little cavernous, and so it was kind of
Restaurant was open at the
You know,
same time, but it was.
well, but just
Good
you know,
traffic.
there's perks.
We tried good
But
traffic.
yeah, it felt maybe like it would be better attended in the future. But I had a lot of people stop by, and I got a chance to talk to them about applying for the grant in the next several weeks. And I tried to emphasize the the value that just additional applications would add in terms of demonstrating to City Council the need for more funding, like we had discussed in our last meeting. So I kind of tried to use that as a pitch. And for some people, it wasn't that discussion, but it was just like, how much do you know about our commission? And people seemed happy to hear a little bit. So I would say well attended. There were some good speakers. There were quite a few people who stopped by and seemed happy that the event was happening. So
I would agree. I was there too, for both Human Rights Commission and for softball. Ashley did a good job accepting the award for the city. The city did get an award for, we got like perfect score on the HRC Municipal Index again. So he kind of honored that. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, it was, I think it was pretty well attended.
So, first year of it, right? So you can start somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with Sarah. Like if the venue was different, it might have attracted more for a different.
it was also a wonderful day outside,
Yeah.
and we were inside, and so I think
the
like
pull to
little
be
things
out,
like
yeah.
that. It's.
So,
But I thought it was successful for a number one attempt.
Wonderful. We will look forward to next year's Corville Pride then. Moving along to item number 9, the grant updates and reports.
So the grant goes live on December 1st, and it will close down end of the day. Well, I shouldn't say end of the day, end of the night of January 7th, which is a Friday. And we've done 2 informational sessions, and the first one was, both were recorded, but the first one is actually on the website if anybody wants to go back and look at it. And the plan is for your first meeting in January that I will distribute the booklets with all the grant submissions to date, and we'll figure out any conflicts and things of that nature and get those handed out, and with the expectation that you'll have decisions by the February meeting you'll have your rankings by the February meeting that you can discuss. And
So the
then-
February meeting will be where we make decisions.
Correct.
About it. Okay.
Recommendation
So we'll have
council. Yep.
a few weeks in there.
Correct.
That's better. I remember a couple of years ago we had like that. Just because the way the calendar worked, it was like we had a week.
Yeah, it was
It's getting
Yeah.
tight.
Yeah, and as you keep getting more, and then your recommendation to the city council for 150 increase, the approved minutes will go on the council packet for the December, I think they meet on December 11th, I think. I'm not looking at a calendar,
No,
but
that's a
if that's a
Saturday.
That'll be
Tuesday.
Saturday. So it's, it's,
14th.
I know they move it
14th,
up
thank
because they
you,
don't have they don't
14th.
have a second meeting
Correct.
because of the holidays. They
Right,
always
right.
cancel that one. So
And I imagine they'll just probably discuss it at the budget meetings because it would be for the next
did you do that the last
fiscal
meeting?
year.
Yes.
Good.
Correct.
Good. And, well, it's-
Yes. Sorry.
so-
You were
no,
not here.
I know I wasn't here. So, but I'm glad I was actually
Yes.
I actually had that on here that if that didn't get done, and I hadn't looked at the minutes, that was
Yeah.
going to happen because
Yeah.
that was something I talked about a lot
Yep.
in the last few months too. So
Yep.
Yeah, and if they approve it, it wouldn't be until FY '23.
Okay.
But
Correct.
technically, the commission could always make an argument based upon applications submitted for FY '22. You know, you can always ask for them to
Sure.
fund
Well, and
more.
I would certainly recommend that we can because we can do it both ways. We can say, well, given our current budget, here's where we draw the line, but then say well, we would like to be able to fund these, and we can request additional funds. And
If
I
the
mean,
city, yeah.
I don't know if this was part of your recommendation when you talked last month about it, but I mean, I think that could be a real easy way of as part of the $1 million they committed to social justice, which was not specifically directed at anything in particular. Well, this would play into that. So if they've committed that money, it's there, right? So if we could use 75,000 of that to double our budget even for this year, I don't think that's an unreasonable ask. So, but didn't hurt to ask.
The orientations that we did, I thought the attendance was down a little bit from the previous year, but I think it may be that people are fluent enough to know about it so that they're out doing it. I don't think it will diminish the number of applicants we have. The word's out.
I hope not. I think we're trying to figure out how to reach people kind of during this, not post-pandemic, but, we used to do a lot of flyers, a lot of just different things. And it's possible that they could have been advertised more too. I mean, looking back on it, that's what I was kind of thinking about how I advertised it in. But it's trying to figure out where people are at to see it.
Well, and a number of the people that were there, I think they represent more than one group,
True.
so we'll see.
You know what we might do in the future is have like an exit ticket, wow, teacher language, on the Zoom, asking people how they heard about the info session, or if they like know other groups and where we might reach them. Like, I'm just kind of wondering if those groups saw it on the Instagram or if they just already knew about it.
We can go back because the Zoom captures the attendees. It will tell me who registered, and it will also tell me out of the number who registered who actually, signed in and participated. So I can do that.
Okay.
Still, it's not too late.
Good.
I also think we should give the flowers.
Use your
Yeah, talking to the
microphone.
mic.
You cannot hear me?
No.
Oh, it's for the
You have
recording.
to.
Recording has to hear you too.
Oh, sorry. If we can give the flowers to organization like Shelter House, CWJ, HECUP, because when people come seeking for funding or help, they can, because sometimes they ask, where else can I get help or what else can I do? And you get to know like they have businesses and stuff, and it's good to know that, this money is here for them to apply for.
I mean, the last couple of years, we've had a lot of applicants, so hopefully I think the word's getting out there. So, and I heard from a couple different groups that applied last year that didn't get it, that were planning on resubmitting something, so.
That was going to be my question. Do you have a registry of previous applicants, either awarded or non-awarded, that you could reach out to as a listserv? It'd be pretty easy to pull potentially of whoever was their grant writer or contact.
Yeah,
All their applications would have had a contact email or
Correct.
something.
Yeah, we could for the last grant cycle. I would have to go digging for previous ones.
Okay.
Because when we update the website, then they get archived, so I would have to go digging for those.
We've
But
the
you're-
last ones, that's a start, just to
Okay.
make sure they're aware that.
Just to
window's open
advertise
again.
like, hey, they're open again. if
Yeah, and you
want.
could keep it as a rolling list for future.
Sure, yep,
Yep.
that's easy.
Wait, is it also to clarify, if you received the grant this year, do you reapply for the next, or you
I
have
think
to
you
wait?
can if your project is
New program.
still new and still in need of development funding.
Yeah, it doesn't, if you've had one in the past, it doesn't disqualify you from getting another one, but we take it into consideration because we try to spread it around. So we try to, we always have that information.
One question, Stephanie, are you aware of anyone responding to the email you sent out? Because I
did.
was hesitant to risk.
Yep, I did. I sent her an email. So yeah, I can't copy everybody.
Well, I had one drafted, and then I was like, I don't want her to get 5. Like,
Right. So
Yeah.
I emailed Stephanie, let her know that I reached out. And so I reached out to her and just gave her my cell phone number and asked her to call me if I'd be happy to talk through the questions with her.
Thank you.
Yep, and I had reached out to the previous individual that sent it to all of us as well.
That's right,
So,
yep, thank you,
Yep.
yep.
Excellent.
Try to stay on top
Thank
of
you.
it. Okay, so do we want to look at the actual, these are kind of the updates for this next cycle, but we also have these updates from the previous cycle as well that are within
I
our
love
packet,
these.
guys. I know.
But
That's
this
the
is the-
majority of the packet.
I know, it's the highlight of these meetings oftentimes,
Yes.
is just being able to read through these reports and what they did. It's just cool.
And photos.
And photos. Photos are great. And these are, so colorful.
Yeah,
all
the open
all the
Heartland one.
dancers. And puppies always helps.
Puppies do help. So it would be starting with the tables here after the July 2020 meeting minutes. I believe this is put together for the money that we gave to the Affordable Housing Coalition. So that was just their timeline that they had made in their goals, followed by a much more in-depth community survey report from the South District. I definitely appreciated their outcomes and their responses. Not only was it, satisfaction, but it included other categories as well. And sometimes, how happy were you with this workshop is the easiest thing to ask, but it may not be the most informative of outcome measures. So I definitely appreciated seeing what all they had in their housing assessment as well.
And they actually reached out and want to present to the commission. And I explained to them that, your January and February meetings are kind of filled up with the grant. And so, I think at the earliest, they'd probably be March, unless I said the commission chose to hold a special meeting. But we can discuss that next year.
Could we have it in future grant cycles, like they have to present at the November meeting or something similar to?
It wasn't in it was the only folks that is applicable to are the organizations that you're looking at now.
Correct. But I'm saying, for a timeline of that, would we be able to do that?
I'm not sure I understand the question. I'm sorry.
I know within the orientations that we had presented, at least. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, come on in.
Yeah.
You're in the right spot.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But have it be stipulated, not only do they have to share it, but when they share it and how they share it, their info as a presentation to the community or the HRC.
So you're saying like just having a particular date where everybody would present?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Or a community event, which could be part of one of the subcommittees that's standing.
This particular organization expressed presenting to the commission because I did offer that as a
Beautiful.
option.
Yeah. I was meaning for future ones.
Oh, I'm getting
Because that
it,
is a stipulation of the future ones. They must present to us and quote unquote the community.
That'd be
So,
cool.
We're just going to keep adding more things, guys.
Does that mean you're staying?
Huh?
Thing, she said.
Oh, I'll join whenever you need me, guys. Don't worry about it.
That chair is going to be for you.
That one right there?
Yes, actually the one in the middle.
Okay, only if you label it with a plaque. Okay,
Be done.
and allow the crying baby.
It'll be
Yeah.
bread and olive oil.
Save that one. Pass out human rights commissioner.
Just hang this on the back of it.
Allowing the crying baby.
She's going to be here. She's going to have to.
Oh,
If I'm bringing the baby, I gotta, come on,
probably won't
Bijou, you know
cry.
all this.
Pandemic baby are good babies.
Yeah, hopefully. But, okay, so they do plan on presenting then probably for that March meeting? For
If the
Johnson
commission
County.
wants it on the agenda. But it
that'd
also
be
is
great.
possible that you schedule it after the grant cycle ends and you just have everybody present that evening too
Okay.
at a meeting.
And then we can look at, are there any, I just kind of going one by one. There are a lot in here, but I think it's worthwhile that we do look at them individually, if that's all right with everyone. Sankofa is the next one that we have within our packet today, which is Lisa Cummington. I love her. She's wonderful. Comments or concerns regarding the Sankofa? This is just one of their quarterly reports, I believe.
So they're just getting underway, right?
Correct.
Okay.
We move along to Open Heartland. Lots of photos. We love those. I also appreciate the creativity that each of these organizations go through to do these reports. We just ask for reports, and it is a little bit of an art to say how can you demonstrate what you've done and where you're going. And so I love seeing all the different ones. I don't think we should ever have a direct, strict format because I like it like this personally.
I think it's exciting because it makes you want to read more because you see in the picture. And my child is in there, so.
Oh, really?
She may, well, one of my childs, the little one.
So cute.
Yeah, that one's got a lot of fun pictures.
Those are nice, yeah. Great program.
And puppies.
Colorful dresses and puppies and what's not to like.
A lot of activities.
And well, and I mean, it looks like very well attended and
And the food pantry was actually right before that one. It kind of,
Did it get
Oh,
stuck
did I
in
miss
there?
that?
yeah, it didn't have a big bold title, so you might have missed it. It's just a one-pager.
Between Sankova and
Correct.
Heartland?
no, it's not in here.
I don't see it.
Oh, then is it at the end?
Amazing.
I got bike library.
The very last page.
Okay, obviously my copy's a little different.
Gotcha. Okay, now I got it.
We're good.
Mine is always the draft copy. Apologies for confusion.
Well, we can go along to the bike library one if you guys would like. Progress report.
That was the one that was it CBS 2 did the story on last spring too, and then they highlighted that one in particular about human rights grants. Oh, I missed that. They had the links to the audio for those. I need to go back and listen to that. So, yeah.
I just had that same thought.
Yeah, when I read this first time, I just saw the links. I didn't read the tag above it, that that's the audio for the tour. So I definitely want to go back and listen to those.
It's on, fourth page from the back.
The
So I'm here.
Bike library, social justice.
Oh.
Yeah, you got it.
So yeah, back one more. Oh, other way.
Well,
It's a really cool
There you go.
project. I
And
didn't
then
read
at the
about
bottom
that.
there, there's those links that says so in the electronic version, that'll be the audio for the tour that they did for the different sites in town.
While I just said I don't want a strict format, I would like to be able to see how much has been spent to date, or like on each of these quarterlies, since they did have to present quarterly or make a budget quarterly. I think it'd be easiest for us also to provide assistance as either HRC or as staff to make sure that the funding is used. Because we've had that issue in the past.
Yeah, they are submitting
Okay.
receipts and things. I just don't include them in here
Okay.
because sometimes they,
Stephanie's already on it. I'm sorry I ever doubted you. My bad.
I know, if you want to know, it's good to ask.
yeah, it certainly is. But yes, if anybody ever wants to come by and look at them, I do have that. I just don't
Okay.
put them out there.
Gotcha.
I'm a sucker for a good spreadsheet, so sorry.
Okay. Oh, it's not presented like that. I mean, it's literally like copied receipts.
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
I don't want to see receipts.
Yeah, no, it's like copied receipts.
I'm good with that. We also have a lot of trust in the agencies that we give money to, so it's not really a micromanaging, it's just to make sure that they stay on track, so balance. Anything else from the bike library, or do you want to move on to the labor center? Looks like
Looking
a
at
lot
the
of people
labor
already
center.
have, okay, sorry.
So we still haven't started spending the grant funds because they were had to postpone some things and using other funds.
It's also good to see, because then they can, it's not quite matched funding, but if it's within their realm of what they do, they should have funding for some of these projects, so I'm okay with that. And yeah, we are obviously very accommodating to revised schedules and setbacks, and I think that's one of the great things about this grant process as well, is life does happen outside of your well-defined application,
Especially
and we
right now.
understand. Comments or concerns regarding the update progress report from University of Iowa Labor Center?
None for me.
And then the last one.
The food pantry.
There it is the food pantry at
My
Iowa.
apologies.
It's okay. We didn't miss it, though. That's the most important part.
The last paragraph on the food shelf or food pantry report's really encouraging.
Yep, and then they have the plan to collect this measuring impact through the survey that they'll be administering in the spring. I appreciate that.
That's great to me.
I think the program is awesome.
Yeah. And it's needed, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion regarding item number 9 on the agenda, guys?
None for me.
Moving forward to item number 10, which is the training on open meetings and public records, December 8th, 6 p.m. Plan to attend if you can.
Yes, it's on Zoom, and if anybody needs the link to register, just send me a note and I will send it back out. Should only last about an hour.
Yeah, the new appointees are also invited to that?
One can attend
Okay.
and the other, I think, has a conflict.
I see, okay.
Is it possible for that to be recorded and sent to them
I
based
think
on
the presenter has indicated that they will make their slides available. I don't
Okay.
necessarily know that they're agreeing for it to be recorded.
Again, I attended that prior to becoming on the commission, and I thought it was extremely useful. Might have been a different presenter, right? But
Yeah, it's correct.
Still,
Good, yep, it's
very
a different
useful.
presenter this time, yep.
Yep,
it's
there's a
the-
lot of those things that are not intuitive that you
Yeah.
just have to know the way to do
Yeah,
some
you need to
don'ts.
be told.
Yeah.
really looking
Quorum's
forward
a
to that.
funny
Kirkwood,
word.
right?
I'm
What did
sorry.
that mean?
Kirkwood? It's going to be at Kirkwood?
No, it will be on
Online.
Zoom.
On Zoom?
It
Oh,
used to be at Kirkwood, though. You are correct. It
Yep.
was Kirkwood, Iowa City down
it's
here.
easier.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else regarding that?
The presenters, I believe Mickey Schultz, who is the attorney for the Iowa League of Cities, and I guess they're kind of the Cadillac of folks on open meetings and public
good.
records, so,
So we got the A team.
correct.
That's what it sounds like. Okay. We are on to item number 11. I do want to say that though we have closed public comment, we can, as a commission, open up public comment, because I do see a member from the public here if they would like to talk. Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
Don't ever want to leave someone out, so sorry to put you on the spot. Staff and commission announcements. Commissioners shall not engage with one another concerning said comments or announcements. We'll start with staff. I don't see Daisy here this week, but I do see Stephanie, yay.
I don't think I have anything, other than what I just mentioned about the open meetings and public records.
Okay, wonderful. And then I guess we'll just go around the table. Tony, you're here to my left. More softball?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to softball this Friday. As we all know, it's my whole other career. No, Pride, I didn't get to say this last time because had to leave early for other things. Pride went really well for me, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I have one more year left as president. And then after a lovely, now 16 years, 15 and a half
Wow.
years of being Pride board member, I am officially retiring. I've made that decision already.
It's in the notes. It's in the notes.
We've got it on record,
To
right?
officially just kind of retire and let someone else take over, so I can pursue other things in my life.
Wonderful.
Other than that, yeah, I just have softball coming up as normal.
And egg rolls.
Oh, yeah, I will make the egg rolls, I promise, to certain people on the commission.
Thanks, Tony. Siri?
I'm thinking, I don't think I have a lot to report. I'm just really glad that I'll get to serve a full 3-year term now. So I was really hoping for that, and so I'm pleased with that. And other than that, just staying busy with teaching, so school, teaching and going to school. But I'm really enjoying that. My term is we're on quarters there, so I'm about to go into some finals and then start. I only have 2 more classes and then I'll graduate, so yay. But yeah, nothing else to report, but glad to be here.
Yay. Wonderful. I don't have much except for this is my last official meeting on the Human Rights Commission because I have served my 3 years. I'm expecting the baby girl due at the end of January, so that'll be the fun adventure as well. And I too only have 2 more classes to take, and then I got to do the whole dissertation and all that fun stuff for the PhD. So while having a newborn, we got this, guys. Don't worry.
Naomi can babysit.
It's all fine, right? We got this.
It's fine.
We got this. It's okay. And I've been attending some of the Iowa City Community School District Equity Committee meetings. I was not able to attend the last one, but I attended the first couple. And so I'll be maybe helping out there a little bit
Laura
too.
Gray.
Say that again?
That Laura Gray.
No, it is not.
Okay.
Dacia Taylor's kind
Okay.
of spearheading it. So yeah. No, there's other people on there too though.
I think Laura Gray is the one that mostly talks to us, like faculty and staff, and there's...
She is on there, but I think she's trying to take a step back and let it be a little bit more student-led as well.
That's
There's
cool,
a lot of
that's
students
cool.
on there. So I'm still in the equity realm, guys, never leaving. And then I've been volunteering a lot more with the Center for Worker Justice. So spending a lot of time with the mayor pro tem over there. So you never know what'll happen. That's about it. What you got, Jason?
I don't have anything. I'm good.
Bijou?
Every day I say I don't have anything because I have a lot. But I think last year I took a leadership class, and I learned about boundaries, and I started using them. But then I don't know how to use boundaries. So if you guys know how to help me to use boundaries so I can get enough sleep. I go to bed at 3 a.m. I wake up at 6 a.m. Monday through Sunday. I feel like I'm getting very old. Because I don't have time, but I'm hoping tomorrow, Thursday, I have a little bit of rest. So, but I'm certified CPR now. So,
Okay.
Oh, cool.
and I just finished my class for fostering, so I might be a foster parent soon.
Yay.
Yeah.
I know that was a lot of work.
Thank you for...
Yeah.
That's it.
Mark?
The bishop's got more work for me to do, so I'm doing that in Washington, Iowa, starting in January. I don't know how long that'll go. Another dimension of my life is I'm active with the Rotary Kerber Heart Safe community campaign. I'm the one that relates to nonprofits, making sure that they have AEDs. And we think in January we'll start the AED CPR Heimlich maneuver trainings at a lot of the nonprofits that have already received the AEDs. And then I'm on the Human Rights committee for the diocese. And I'm looking at I want to get this right. Do you remember, Stephanie, Joshua V. Barr from Des
Yes,
Moines?
I do. Yep, I do.
All right, he was with us, and we went through an experience. It was a video experience of breaking bread, building bridges that they did in Des Moines. I'm really inspired by it, and I think I'd like to talk. Joshua has moved to South Carolina, but I'd like to learn more from him about the possibility of what it is they had 1,000 applicants. They narrowed it down to 100. Then they coupled people from different areas of life. I remember like a police officer and a gay mother, and you go to the first meal, and then you commit. As a couple, you're going to have a meal together at one of your houses. Then you come maybe another one in 6 months, and then you're coming back for the big meal and talk about what you learned about each other. It really sounded wonderful. Breaking bread, building bridges.
They won an Emmy for that, or an Oscar.
They got something for it. It was
I think-
wonderful.
yeah. It was an
That's
Oscar,
neat.
not an Emmy.
Mark was talking about, prior to, and that's what kind of inspired the kind of programs committee. Like that's something I would
That'd be neat.
You know, it's something we could, if we collectively all wanted to commit to
I
something
think
like
the
that, that sounded
bishop's
really cool.
assistant has some link for me that I can connect with, so.
Okay,
I don't know, it's
I'll
kinda
see if
exciting
Joshua's
one.
available too, to maybe do a Zoom or something if he's no longer in the state.
I think really what he did was Zoomed with us while we watched his video.
Okay,
is
that
how
can be
it
set
went.
up. I'll contact him and see his availability,
Okay, thanks.
charge rate, yes.
I like it.
And we're home alone for Thanksgiving because the children are with the
Bye-bye.
Outlaws. Thanks for coming. That's what I know.
All right.
Pardon me? I have one. I'm too, a lot of people thought I would be a bishop sometime, but the bishops made sure I'm not.
Okay. And you wouldn't have time for us.
I'm old. No.
Any other announcements? No? Item number 12.
Yay.
Outgoing commissioners, that's myself and Adil. We are officially, and we're not retiring, we're just not having to commit to this.
Yes, just, you know, transitioning to other ways of helping the community. So we have a nice little plaque for you.
Aw.
So I will just say, it says, presented to Jessica Andino. Thank you for your outstanding and dedicated service to advancing human rights. City of Iowa City Human Rights Commission, November 2021.
Aw.
So thank you for your 3 years. I can say I will say personally as vice chair, I didn't know Jessica before I was appointed almost 2 years ago now. And then this last year, well, even that first year we spoke a lot. And this past year as chair and vice chair, we have had many, many conversations, and I have tremendous respect for you and the work that you do and the work that you'll continue to do. So please keep in touch and tell us where we need to be doing more things and doing better and all those things too. But I consider you not just a colleague and somebody that I respect, but also a good friend. So
Thank you.
So thank you so much for your service, and we will look forward to seeing you in the
Aw,
future.
well, thank you. Are we allowed to like hug? It's COVID time.
Should we get a picture with you?
Group hug? Oh, gosh.
But maybe you should adjourn.
Maybe we should adjourn first? Okay.
Good idea.
Okay, well,
We adjourn.
first by Mark. Anybody?
Second.
Second by Siri. Motion?
I'm good at
Everybody?
that.
Aye.
Aye, okay. The end.
Here's like-